welcome to the Do It All Dad Year podcast, dad-friendly entertainment for you and me. What Gen X parents understand, controlling our kids with comedy can make our kids great again. My three fuss-free kids as a whole are living proof of it. And this is episode 115, Vegas, HBO, Special Dreamin'. I think it's great. You're still doing comedy at your age means they don't like funny Jews for real. Can I get a holla for a super prideful, excessively Jewy, yet still poignant and funny opener, smearage all in your face, jealous Gentile, holla! You'd rather have W as president over Trump? I don't see Trump freeze up after learning the World Trade Center was hit because he felt like a sucker, puppet, pawn bitch of the deep state. You deplorable East Coast townie hick. Thank you for reminding me why I wasted any breath on you in the first place. Seinfeld just auctioned off some of his Porsches for charity. I hope half those proceeds went to Larry's kids. Can I get another holla for some A-list Yenta breath dumpage? Holla! I still don't want Jerry Seinfeld. I don't think he should be allowed to smirk for at least until the time Cosby's up for parole. Yeah. Where were your powers of observation then, Jerry? New Yorkers are having less babies than ever, especially in Brooklyn. Fat hipsters are pulling out early from meat sweats. This conversation I had with a model sitting next to me on JetBlue. The model says, on Adderall, I feel like I can do everything. Like you writing 2 books. This is my idealized response. Then why haven't you tried, so let me get straight, on Adderall, let me repeat. Model, on Adderall, I feel like I can do everything. Just do it all dead. Talking to the model. Then why haven't you tried to make me come with ferocious, eye-fucking intensity like Jenna Jameson with your clothes on yet? Focus and crank up the dosage already. Can I get a holla for not giving a fuck about delivering A-plus slutty material while also giving some old school porn star love to Jenna Jameson? Holla! This is me at a hipster bar in Van Nuys, California. Stood all dead. Talking to the bartender. You don't see a pear saison every day, and this one doesn't taste like sour vase water either. Bearded hipster laughs long time. It's me at the Plaza, true story, Las Vegas. I see Mark Cuban, owner of the Mavericks. He's walking solo in my direction on the casino floor. And Do It All Dad, that being me, blurts out, congrats on snagging KP for a box of cotton candy, Cuban. Uni will fly again. And Mark Cuban laughs a long time. Aerosmith, Do It All Dad Nation. Aerosmith in Vegas was perfection. Sweet emotion. Ragdoll. Chip away at the stone. Ragdoll. Toys in the attic. Toys! Toys! Dream On, of course. Even Angel on the piano for a bit. They played everything. Take me to the other side. And Joe Perry made Slash sound heavily formulaic in comparison. Totally worth the wait. I hear that Aerosmith, I looked on their website, I'm pretty sure they're playing the Borgata for people that listen to me on the East Coast. You have to check it out. Steven Tyler and Joe Perry literally looked like chiseled, like Aztec, like gods. And Tyler hated the fact that like every 2 seconds I'm yelling, woo! And he can hear me. And he doesn't like to not be the loudest center of attention powered voice in the room. I picked on that long time. but he's not a shouty band comedian, and they're the best-selling American rock and roll band of all time, and so he could suck it up. But similar to seeing like any Dead show in the past for me, or Roger Waters at MSG doing The Wall before he became Linda Sarsour's go-to fluffer to secrete slimier hate spewage on CNN and beyond. It was impossible not to sing the entirety of the lyrics for most of their songs in Vegas, baby. Another testament of them being a great American rock and roll band. And making you realize the comparison to Rolling Stones, them being called the American Rolling Stones, makes a hell of a lot of sense. So my old LA bud invites our marquee bottle service waitress to see Aerosmith, which all of a sudden made my presence there feel like depreciated, like Hillary, the first time Bill brought home Paula Jones after giving a speech on saving the aardvarks. I actually had to Google like aardvark under images to make sure like that was the image that I had in my mind when I thought of like Paula Jones' schnauzer. So I think that joke worked out well. So before the Aerosmith show, because we were at Marriott Marquis the night before. I've been to Marriott Marquis in ages, and I only been to one in New York. True story. So Christmas party. Already met my wife at City Search. She was actually engaged. Did not know that. And we're now at Marquis. She was living in Greenpoint back then, but this was like light years ago. Back when like Lena Dunham had much skinny arms and wasn't so full of herself. And this is pre-smartphone, so we're talking 13, 14 years. And now it's a Christmas party. My wife's no longer working at IAC. I had met her on Barry Dillow's balcony on top of Carnegie Hall, which I refer to as our Tower of Love. And we're now at Marquis, but my girlfriend, now wife, was no longer an employee of IAC. And there was this executive assistant that used to work for one of the bosses on Barry Diller's floor, and where my wife used to work. My wife actually told her boss, who was in charge of mergers and acquisitions for Barry Diller, to pass on buying MySpace. I love sharing that. So anyway, and Barry Diller, he ran Fox, he ran Paramount, and then he opened up IAC. They had a bunch of internet properties. City Search, where I sold ad sales. Old joke being that City Search is primarily used by gay men in New York City. And these websites to find out who gives the best facial. My joke writing has evolved, I know. And so who else? Ask Jeeves, which was like a poor man's Google search engine, despite the Rich Butler connotation embedded on it. So wife's no longer an employee. We're at Marquis. And immediately, this mousy assistant makes my wife feel like more unwelcome than like a resurgent, like forgotten about, like herpes sore on the spot. And she says, "Well, only employees are allowed." I said, "Well, actually, I'm an employee, and she's my girlfriend." So, and I couldn't get past it. And I did a great rendition, my best ever, of Wanted Dead or Alive. The high-end Macallan Scotch definitely helped, but I drank too much, and I saw her on the dance floor, and I don't know what overcame me. All of a sudden, I go to her, and I said, "If it was up to me, I would whip out my dick and piss on you." I said this. I've never said this. No woman has ever enraged me to the point where I wouldn't say harass, but I've never like felt the compulsory need to express my disgust to the point where I said, "Hey, if not that like I want to piss on you in like a golden shower sort of way where you're asking for it and you get off on it, and not that I would like piss on you, but because that's pretty gross." And if I'm not going to get off from it, like what's the point? But you do disgust me. And for some reason that came out. And then like literally within a second, she beelines to a bouncer, about says, "You got to go." And then I got fired. My boss was devastated. He really liked me. He was really cool. And I was doing well too. But you guys wouldn't be reading my books and you wouldn't be enjoying this podcast right now. So like I tell my kids, one thing leads to another. Definitely not doing a good job of keeping the option open of like securing white collar employment again as a internal recruiter, getting paid six figures for some startup in Manhattan with material like this. So I saw Allen Houston at the Win in town in Vegas when I was there to see Aerosmith. He was there for the NBA Summer League. I'm convinced the owner of the Knicks, James Dolan, must have given Allen Houston tenure because he looked chiller than Eddie Griffin in his trailer on 420, sipping banana daiquiris on the set of Deuce Bigelow 2. Yeah, so anyway, I was talking about the Sliznut, the random Sliz from who was a freaking waitress for our bottle service at Marriott Marquis. My friend from LA, I love him, Jay. He wanted to impress. So anyway, he he invited this girl to Aerosmith. You know, it was a friendly thing. It wasn't a sexual thing, but it still bothered me. So I said, "A big Aerosmith fan, huh? Whose six pack would you rather do bumps on? Joe Perry or Steven Tyler?" She says, "Hard choice." I say, "Fine, you pass. At least you didn't say Meatloaf. Can I get a holla?" For obvious lines that this stupid sluts that whatever uttered a million years. Holla! So this is me at the bar at JFK before I left from JFK Queens for Burbank Airport. Random girl says in the conversation, "My father would love your podcast. He's retired in Fort Myers, Florida, and bored out of his mind." And I said, "My podcasts are more frequent and a tad less self-referential than Trump rallies." So doesn't old bud annoy me again, reminding me why he stayed in my life as long as he did. So pumped you got on stage. I need to grow a pair again. No, you need to get better at writing jokes and detecting passive-aggressive, cloaked, backhanded compliments. Actually, I did more than just go on stage and bear my best gems from the past 3 years. I actually scored laughs and freedom of speech celebrating coolness cred from real deal hippie deadhead musicians. Mang! So I met this guy at Harvest Moon. It's this local farm, and they're great. And they make cider. They do. They have a bar that's really dedicated to like New York whiskeys. And this guy, Farmer Todd, got into a very cool conversation with him yesterday. Turns out everyone in his church compares his voice to Neil Young. It's like the best compliment ever. So he believes in. We talked about Q and Jeffrey Epstein. So things are turning, people. I mean, listen, if you've done your research, you connect the dots, and you possess some level of critical thought, and you don't accept everything CNN and MSNBC tells you, you have to know that people are going to jail. Powerful, sick, rape enablement, sickos. And last night, to prove my point even further, outside of me having sophisticated conversations with Farmer Todd here in North Salem, this is New York, people, 50 minutes north of Manhattan, Bill and Hillary Hamilton Cankles were at MSG to see Billy Joel, and they got booed. The moment like their picture was flashing the big screen, they got booed in New York City. Because anyone in New York is reading the Post forever. We all know about Lolita Rape Island, okay? Bill Clinton had been there 22 times with that documented surface. We all know. So, but I also think like the reason they also got like booed at too was because there were a lot of Yenta breasts from like Long Island who would categorize like the majority of like Billy Joel's hits in the 80s as essentially being a bunch of like lullaby music for Republicans. So, but that's a big deal. That's a huge deal. So I'm very excited. You can Google it. 50,000 sealed indictments. Okay, and those indictments are not going to result in the fake news handcuffs in the new version of Monopoly. So, but my point being, so at this place, Harvest Moon, I don't remember if I mentioned it, but like I saw Ace Frehley at the Westchester County Center with this old bud. Ace played Deuce. He played Detroit Rock City. Was not expecting it. Rock Soldiers. That was great. Although the crowd was dead and Ace seemed depressed out of his mind. So I'm still not going to feel bad for Ace. I'm sorry. I'm just not. But, and Rat was very uneven. But I heard Slip of the Lip, that was okay. So seeing that and then seeing Aerosmith, I mean, you want to talk about like separating like the boys from like the true big dogs. It was definitely a night and day experience. But anyway, before that show, I was at Harvest Moon and I met this guy, and he reminded me a lot of my younger brother. Trust your instincts, people, because I don't know anyone that offers you like cocaine during the day. Chances are they're cokeheads, and that's fine and everything, but it's like not someone I'm gonna like become friends with. He was being very complimentary. He was even like went to my website and like found stuff and quoted it, and but he invited me to perform at his party. Here, it was a Fourth of July party, and I have not performed outside for you guys on this podcast in 3.5 years. I've not gone on stage intention of getting laughs, and I did like 10 minutes and change. It went very well. I got lots of compliments from those hippies. It's always nice to be like, yeah, man, like when you're smoking the same breath as like a Lenny Bruce or a George Carlin. And I'm not saying like I was otherworldly, but I was really good. And I was making fun of Antifa. He's like, yeah, F Antifa. So it's good to know that there are freaking hippies out there, musicians who are older than me. And these guys are from New York forever. And you got people like Farmer Todd, who are unapologetic Christians, who know real evil when they see it. And great quote by George Washington. He says, treason, that the biggest threat to America is treason. So, I mean, I don't understand how you can't categorize, the Kavanaugh thing, the Russian P dossier thing, fake news, trying to incite race wars with hands up, don't shoot, encouraging Antifa to do whatever they want to do by saying, well, they're right and we're wrong, even though they're domestic terrorists. So this is all treasonous behavior. And I pray that they will be punished. I can't see just Trump being cool with, throwing in an insult here and there on Twitter, right? No way. Not going to happen. So my prediction, I don't make predictions, but they say that the Inspector General report is going to come out soon. And I was thinking that a lot of these arrests were going to happen like before July 4th, but I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm glad that this is being drawn out. But this Jeffrey Epstein is freaking huge. And who knows who he's going to rat out. They actually say that the CIA had helped like fund and provided like numbers, for Jeffrey Epstein as far as like introducing him to people so they could basically use Lolita Island, Rape Island in the Caribbean. They could use that information as blackmail to, prosecute or to basically control all of these powerful politicians and everything. So this is very juicy stuff. I still can't believe Bill Clinton and Hillary got booed at the Garden. I'm having a hard time containing my enthusiasm over here. But I'm going to get back to some jokes. So at 22, UN. But anyway, before I get to the jokes, just want to thank you guys again. Because, you've been my laugh validators. Do I hear laughs on the other side? No. But, I've been posting jokes on my Twitter feed forever and WordPress. And then, listen, I'm not going to do the jokes in the podcast unless I think they're A-list. But what I've noticed is that just performing for all this time, it's really sharpened my performing chops. And again, I know that I'm not just like talking to myself. I'm now at the 4,000 download mark. So thank you again. I will keep them coming. And please buy my books and please write reviews. And then for the third book, we could have a big party and we could all meet each other. And you'll see that could be pretty funny off the cuff in person too. 22 UN countries have condemned China for its Muslim concentration camps. AOC wasn't invited for the grand tour. I don't think Amir has the balls to ask for halal-only meals. And I still don't think the Chinese give a shit about proper teeth care. Most of the communist leaders of China look better with air masks on versus off. Apple co-founder Steve Wanacek, the guy that Seth Rogen plays in the Aaron Sorkin film, stripping him of any like interesting mojo whatsoever. We're not binary. So Apple co-founder urges all to delete their Facebook account because Facebook sold your private info to Cambridge Analytica. God forbid the Trump campaign use that info to target ads based on Toby Keith playlists, likes, and shares. So it's me talking to that model again on JetBlue. She says, "Are you a Trump supporter?" And I said, "Yes, but you've enjoyed my playful banner, such as me insisting my wife drove my neck into your volleyball strong hands by never offering me a ride to the airport." So this is me at the bar at JFK. I was talking to these two girls. One was from Inglewood, two good-looking sisters, and I'm waiting for the bartender to ask me what I would like to drink. This do-it-all dad talking to the sisters, and understand the bartender just served them drinks. And I said, "Why didn't the bartender think I was with you?" Scrumptious sisters. He didn't ask for my drink order because I'm white privilege incarnate, who's always been first in line for everything. Can I get a holla for exploiting white privilege material to the nth degree and being able to make the hipster at the bar with the tattoos who can't stand whole laugh in real time in the process? Holla! Talking about the Courtney Love band, Hole. So Courtney Love is Mia Farrow with better husband selection. So Bill Maher, even Bill Maher is ripping the Clintons. Bill Maher has been ripping Bill Clinton for visiting Lolita Island 22 times in the past. Bill Maher's production company is called Kid Love Productions. He has to care about the kids. It's his company's mission statement, a proclamation for Christ's sake. Lee's sexiest sentence in the English language. Twitter's algorithms are preventing Bill Mitchell's tweets from being read. You mean the ones about how Jeff Sessions was a White Walker instead of being an overrated hick? Can I get a holla for some A+ Jeff Sessions dumpage now that Barr's in charge? Holla! A stay-at-home dad from Kansas was invited to the White House for Trump's conservative summit to discuss big tech censorship. But the stay-at-home dad from Texas only accepted the invite if they could ensure his identity was concealed because he feared retaliation from his family. Antifa's in Kansas now? We're so screwed, Toto. Delete your Facebook account. Doesn't your privacy matter to you anymore? Yes. That's why I defriended my parents on Facebook. Not that I post on Facebook anymore, but it's my intention to block them from front row seats of their grandchildren playing without them accounts. Whenever I see Ben Shapiro trending on Twitter, I want to puke up uncooked matzo meal. Did Ben not get invited to the White House for Trump's conservative social media summit because the Jewish Tucker minus the preppy ties is overkill? I hate the expression conservative social media personalities. None of them have one. Bill Mitchell couldn't score a dandruff commercial in '86. Candace Owens is very factual. She's a more colorful alternative to Charlie Kirk, but not really. Conservative social media personalities were invited to the White House to discuss big tech censorship yesterday. I'm wondering, were these people allowed to admit how much more sophisticated and suave and funnier they felt about themselves after reading Milo's rushed, laugh-free Fake news, deep book, just wondering. I hate indifferent roulette spinners in Vegas. I'm obviously losing only on my kids' birthdays again and again. I'd welcome any negative spin over the humorless mute act, such as looks like your kids were born under unlucky signs. So it was a pilot JetBlue. The door, in the event of a crash, the door turns into a raft. Do it all, Dad. That'd be me. Says, I picked the right day to quit collecting Marlboro miles. I hate women who think they could just grab your bottle of Grey Goose, which your friend drops $3,000 on for bottle service at the club, just for the alleged turn on of his crew being in sniffing distance of such classy fine tail, uh, who act like entitled vapid horse divas in reality. So I was being blatantly sarcastic in the first place. Reminds me, I was at Harvest Moon yesterday, and I did my old Harvey Weinstein joke for one of these girls, and it got nothing. And this is what I said afterwards. So the joke was, Harvey Weinstein's wife finally divorced him so she could focus on her lifetime battle with amnesia. And it didn't get anything. And I said, because his wife is a rape enabling whore. So my new butt's got a kick out of my insistence on saying that 3 times in a row before the girls left altogether. Because the wife was a rape enabling whore. So waiting in line at Starbucks is like waiting online for burnout, pretension in a cup after you've assumed control of your speed addiction, money, and time at home using Nespresso pods and a French press instead. This is my best compliment in Vegas. When you do your own HBO special in Vegas, now that's a compliment, a very giving one, from a one-time divorced Jewish realtor from the Valley, no less. I'll take it. Love you back, too, dude. This is Michael Kornbluth, host of the Doodle Dad Year podcast. Dad-friendly entertainment for you and me. What Gen X parents understand, controlling our kids with comedy can make our kids great again. Aerosmith was great. Controlling my kids with comedy, a love story. Doodle Dad Does Jokes. Available Amazon, Kobo, Apple Books. We'll be coming out with an audio for Doodle Dad Does Jokes. We'll be coming out with hardcovers soon enough. I love Doodle Dad Nation long time. I'll keep on punching. And I now have inspiration to actually not drink beer for 2 months and dunk out by the end based on Steven Tyler. Because Steven Tyler was looking pretty in shape. And he had a hell of a lot of fun in the process too. So that was really great. So Aerosmith was wonderful. Ace was great. Stephen Percy had his moments. And I do have a third book in the works. I'm working out some details. I'm actually working with someone on this, and I'm very excited about it. Basically, the topic is going to be me. The purpose of the book is teaching financial literacy, but teaching it through comedy. And the entire moment was inspired by a conversation I had with my daughter once, where I think at this point, like Apple was declared as like the first $1 trillion company. My daughter says, Daddy, how many zeros in a trillion? And she says, Daddy, do you really have to Google that? Daddy, are you financially illiterate? Daddy, is that why you call yourself a degenerate Jew? Because you have to use your fingers for simple arithmetic? Have a wonderful upcoming weekend, and I'll talk to you guys soon.